it was really lovely to see the responses to the question about what inspires peace. Such a beauty in the responses. Very often, many of the responses were nature, which is so utterly true. You know, sometimes it can come over you like an ocean of silence, just passing by nature in the car on the perimeter of the town. And it, in a way, that nature is such a source of peace, it shows us how disconnected we have become. Because as if we weren't natural ourselves, as if we aren't part of that, as if we're not biological organisms moving through this exquisite, beautiful polarity, like a tree, like a bird, like a blade of grass. And so when we move out of the city or out of the zone of human into a place where there's more nature, it can be surprising, this wave of peace that comes forward. Hi, Leah. And yet, it wouldn't be possible to experience that incredible peace as if from outside ourselves if it wasn't also already deeply inside ourselves. The very movement of recognition wouldn't be possible, which means we have a sense of peace beyond our eyes and our ears and our nose and our physical touch and our taste. We have a sense also of peace. And some people might hear it saying, come here, come to peace. Or some people might feel from their pain, from their anguish, that they're calling towards the peace. Where is the peace? I need peace. Where are you? Where are you, peace? As if it's deeply known to us. So there's the peace inside us, the peace that already knows peace, consciously or unconsciously. And there's the peace outside of us. And in between this and that, there's a whole lot of stress. So peace, if we look into it, is really about the absence of conflict, just as stress is about conflict. Stress comes forward when one side of us is rubbing up against another side. We have to do something, we don't want to do it. We have impulses coming towards us, information coming towards us, we don't want to receive it. There's always two with stress. And in peace, there isn't two. Peace is about reconnection. In a way, it's like coming home. When we go into nature and we feel that ocean of silence, there's an immediate relaxation of the body. The mind grows silent, the body begins to relax. Like you would when you were coming home from the battlefield. There's a kind of letting go of that stuff which is between the inner peace and the outer peace. But here is the thing. We are so programmed, our brains, in terms of conflict, in terms of either or it's like this, or it's like that, or it's the city, or it's nature, that we grew to believe collectively that peace is something that has to be got from the outside. It's something that can't exist as long as there is conflict. So we make a new kind of either or. There's peace, or there's conflict. Or there's stress, or there's peace. Or I'm in my suffering, or I'm totally at peace. We make this split. And the nature of peace, as we deeply experience it from our earliest years, from babyhood, is that it's totally unconditional. Peace doesn't say, I'll be here when you stop fighting, if you stop fighting. Peace doesn't say, I'm only available if you stop thinking. Peace doesn't say, first you have to rearrange your life and lose some weight and stop suffering, and then I'm here for you. This is not the nature of peace. The nature of peace is that it's always already here, regardless of what else is happening in our experience. It's so always already here that it's never not here. What happens is that we, through conditioning collectively, through generations, have numbed our appreciation, our sense, our sensitivity to peace, our honoring of it for what it is, which is the backdrop that actually feeds everything else that we do. Without peace, there can be no conflict. Where would the conflict exist without a background of peace? At the end of every conflict, the peace is still there. But the peace is also here during any conflict. And there's a really simple way to test this. And that's to realize that it's here because we are here in whatever situation. As long as we are here in conflict, in suffering, in stress, in confusion, peace is also here. It's not actually possible to be here without the peace of who we are, of what we are. We're made of it. But we so take it for granted that we lose sight of it, we lose our sense of it, we lose the invitation to it, we lose our center in a way. We become the conflict. One person of the people that responded to how do you find peace answered something which nobody else answered, which was really kind of amazing to me. And that answer was that she finds peace in certainty. It's a very ungroomed, unclassical answer. For me, peace is certainty. And it's exquisitely beautiful because when you really look into certainty, what can we be sure of? What's certain? What's the one thing that is really deeply certain, for sure? No doubt about it. Are we certain that, am I certain that I'm called Georgie Johnson? Absolutely not. I've changed my name several times in this half a century of living. My mother just made it up and changed her mind until she chose that name. I'm certainly not certain that I am this name. Am I certain who I am then? Are you certain who you are? Well, it's hard to be certain of who you are when you were once a child and you've been a teenager. And when you go to the grocery store, you're one person. And when you go to your mother, you're a totally different person. And when you're with an animal, you're another person again. And when you grow older, you'll be somebody else again. Also, who we think we are is changing, unreliable, fragile. So what can we be certain of? We can be certain that we have a body, but the body's changing. It's fragile. We don't like to feel it, but it's impermanent. It's also not really a separate body. It's vibrating with the traffic outside, just as it vibrates with nature when we're in nature. When a F-15 goes over the skies here in Israel, it's not just the houses which shake, it's also the cells in the body, it's also the cats in the house, it's the grass, it's the earth. It all shakes exactly in resonance. It's not separate, the physical, from the whole physical, which is magnificent. And it's evolving. So what can we be certain of? What's certain? Even now we're connecting and it's completely awesome because we have, all of us are in different parts of the world. We have in America, in Holland, in Israel. We're actually encircling the globe from vast distances, and we are utterly at one here, in the same here. Part of us isn't any distance away at all. Which part is that which is no distance, that can connect online? Is it the mind? The soul? Being? It's something deeper. It's something deeper which is everywhere. So easy. So there is a certainty right now that we are here. There's simply a certainty that we are here now. It doesn't matter that time is passing, we're still here now. The distance, the space, the different shapes of our bodies, it doesn't matter. We're still certainly, for sure, here. And we're here in this here-ness, which is such a peacefulness when we relax into it. Irrespective of if we're thinking something or feeling something, thinking and feeling is happening here. But the here is always here in order for the thinking and feeling to happen. In that sense, we look a little bit like our own computer screens. We are channels, mechanical channels of ourselves, of a self which isn't separate, which is so much greater than the machine of the mind, the machine of the feelings and emotions that partly we've inherited, the patterns of feeling, the machine of the body and its exquisite beauty, its natural beauty and sensitivity, which we only use a small part of. So peace is not something that we need to do anything to get. It's much more an allowing that it's already here. It's always here, you know. It's so always here that we say rest in peace when somebody dies. But we don't need to wait until we die to rest in peace. We can rest in peace through every argument, through every commuter traffic jam, through every problem, through every layer of stress. We can at the same time rest in peace. That means when we begin to move like that more, that we operate much less out of stress, using stress and conflict as our energy source, which sooner or later always burns us out. We begin to operate much more out of freedom or discipline, the discipline of love. You know, there are tasks that need to be done. We can do it out of peace, which is so different than doing it out of stress. The or else, if I don't do this, then I will be punished, or I will hate myself, or I will punish myself. The anger that's born in that, the physical discomfort that's born in that, in living a life based on the impulses of stress. And it leads to a great isolation, this second-hand energy of stress, because we're always afraid, and it's never good enough. No matter how much we do, the stress doesn't go away until it almost exists independently of doing anything. It just becomes an increasingly unconditional stress at being alive. The beautiful thing is that we can be totally stressed and at peace at the same time. We can be here in peace and experience stressfulness. It's actually quite an interesting experience, stress. It's like an overloaded cable charging through the body. And even the more we move into peace, this ocean of silence from the heart, and so many of you said how much it's connected with the heart and with love, which is totally true. It rises up and then it creates stress in the mind because the mind is kind of being forced to let go by this rising ocean of peace. And it starts to hang on so we can get a little bit headachy or something, but that's just part of the experience happening in this great here, this great peaceful here-ness, which we're sharing now. So when we are able to begin living and resting and sleeping and acting and fighting and deciding our lives while allowing this source of peace, which is very close and intimate to who we are, it's very certain, very known to us. The more we do that, the more there is a pervasion of peace into the cells of the body. So it comes to a level where even in touching the dirty dishes, peace is moving through the cells of our bodies. In walking to the car to get to work, peace is felt in the contact between the feet and the floor. Peace can be experienced in the hands on the steering wheel in the traffic jam. And of course, when it's moving through the physical, through the body like this, it's immediately benefiting the body. This peace isn't a dead thing. It's incredibly healing. It brings things to harmony. It releases stress. It releases stress to the tiniest level, which is the most powerful, because we're talking the genetic level. It releases identification of who you ought to be, of what we should be, what we want to be. It releases ambition. It releases the sense of failure or guilt or shame. And when I say releases, I don't mean it gets rid of it, it just puts it in proportion. At the end of the day, a feeling of guilt or a sense of being condemned or a horror, even the greatest horror of failure, it's a physical sensation. And when our awareness feels that with peace, imagine what happens to that physical sensation. It rests like a child who is really, really, really worried about something the child really doesn't need to worry about. And we hold it. We hold the child. And the child calms down, comes to peace. It feels certain. It feels safe. That's how a feeling of suffering is. Just a child calling home. Come to me. I need you, I need you, I need you. And where there's peace, there'll always be a flow of love, a natural care of itself. Love naturally arises out of peace, because what else should arise out of peace? Love, and even more, and the vast intelligence of consciousness, which intuitively seems to know what's needed. Not from the head, not from the mind. The hands move before the mind even knows. According to what's needed when we're at peace, because we don't stop them from doing what's needed. So we move into a peace meditation. It's a guided meditation, and we can, after some time, there'll be silence, and then there'll be some music, I hope. I try it. If not, then I will talk you out of the meditation. There's still the technical thing happening. So feel free to, if you feel more comfortable, you can close your camera or just relax however is most easy for you. There's no need to be anything other than comfortable. And notice as you're moving into this comfort zone, say hello to the body, how it is to be here now, to experience from the inside. how it is to be in a body. You can become aware of where it's warmer or colder. Become aware of any discomfort. And also of anywhere which is pleasant and comfortable. And each moment that we become aware of any sensation or feeling in the body, that just causes us to relax even more easily and deeply. Anytime, any moment that we become aware of any physical sensation or feeling in the body, that just causes us to relax even more easily and deeply. Knowing that you are in control of this process of relaxing. And knowing that you are in control as your awareness meets the physical sensations in the body and around the body. Knowing that you are in control just causes you to easily release control where it's necessary. To see what is appearing here. As we feel the weight of the body as it is supported, we can begin to notice the silence that is all around. Listen to the silence behind the sound. listening to the silence behind the sound and the silence behind the thoughts. Listening to the silence around the base of the head and the back of the neck. Listening to the silence in the shoulders, left shoulder, and right shoulder. And the space between the left shoulder and the right shoulder, where feeling the silence just causes these shoulders to relax, to drop down a little and relax even more. Let your loving awareness now move to the right hip area, the right hip area, to the hips and the buttocks and the thighs on the right side. And feel the silence there. Let your awareness expand to include also the left hip area, the buttocks and the thighs and the hips on the left side. And let that loving awareness feel the silence there, inside and outside. And then bring your attention again to your left shoulder. and the space around the left shoulder and the right shoulder and the bases of the body. Let all of that space expand with your loving awareness. And now bring your attention to the center of your chest, or the heart chakra. This is the center of the chest. And feel whatever feelings are there now, whatever shapes, whatever textures, whatever the weather. Just let it be here in this vast field of your infinite awareness. This intimate feeling of being you, the you-ness of you. How does it feel to be here as you, in you, around you? Behind you. Any feeling or emotion, any physical sensation, any sense of you. Let it just arise. Feeling the silence within it. Feeling the silence within it through this loving, endless awareness. In that silence of being here, now, make an invitation to peace. Invite peace to move through, in, behind, around. Every muscle and cell and sensation. Make an invitation to peace, to be here in your experience together with whatever else is moving. Notice it. Notice this peace. Opening to this peace like flowers to the sunshine. Okay, I've unmuted everybody. There's a lot of darkness in the cameras. Okay. Maybe it's, yeah. I think it can work like this. Is the noise too interfering? The background noise?
Okay.
A little bit. Somebody has some vacuum cleaner or something happening. Dishwasher, or husband in the kitchen. Or Would anyone like to share anything, or if anyone has any questions, or I think I'm going to mute everybody, and then if anyone wants to speak, it's best to wave at me. That's quiet. So how was that? Was anybody unable to get any sense of this? Peacefulness, which is very much at source. Was it difficult? No.
It's good. Gotta do more of it.
Yeah, I think we can make it a regular thing that we meditate. We have a meeting like this. We were thinking the last Thursday of each month.
Yes, please
Good.
do.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
so sometimes it will be just me, sometimes it will be just Bart, sometimes it will be the two of us. But I think that's something we can commit to, which is For me, at least, it's a beautiful thing. This connecting across the world is really something so grounding and liberating at the same time. To feel this zone that opens so close, so from the inside, despite any kind of distance, just zero distance. That's how it is. That's how it is also after we go off and we go and do our separate things and load the dishwasher, and we're still that connected. We're that connected because one layer beneath that, there's no separation at all. We're the same one. It's the same one now talking to itself through Zoom, through all these little boxes, this mosaic on the screen, seeing all its different faces, all its different expressions, all its experiencing all these different forms. Not one detail of this is by accident. It's not a matter of good or bad or wanted or not wanted. Even the feeling of not wanting something is an experience, which is enriching, which is serving that one, which looks at itself now.
I think I was the one that said certainty. Was that me?
Yeah, that was you.
Yeah, I think I was being a little fresh. I was being ironic, trying to be, clever.
Yeah.
So I guess what I mean is the certainty of I am that would be nice, because then I would be really truly certain.
Could you imagine yourself being certain that you are something else?
Other than this person?
Something other than that.
Yes, I think so.
Well, would that be that being something?
It's not a full thing. Oh, I'm sorry.
Would that not be that? You're being that, experiencing being not that.
Oh no, now you're being fresh.
I know, I'm being fresh. What I can say, Leah, is that when we experience, and this is true across the
It's
whole,
tricky. I don't know.
yeah. When we have a very strong quality for something, then often our experience is reflecting exactly the opposite. So every moment of uncertainty that you experience is reflecting certainty.
I'm not sure I understand.
Yeah. Well, the very reason that the issue of certainty preoccupies you, that this is the theme that came forward out of this,
Yes.
is telling that there's a lot of uncertainty. Wherever.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah. So wherever there's a lot of uncertainty, there's also an incredible amount of honesty and purity.
Yeah.
Most people pretend they know stuff.
Yes,
They pretend they're
yes,
certain.
I can honestly say I'm very uncertain. Sorry.
Uncertainty is a very natural and healthy place to relax in. Of uncertainty, you can be certain. It's the most truthful expression possible, not knowing nothing. Not being sure who we are, what to do, how to do. These feelings are so much closer to truth than knowing
Yes.
who I am, what I am, Donald Trump style, I'm an American. It's like, well, that's that
Ah.
fiction. It's like, when will that bubble burst?
Did you have to mention him?
I'm just channeling the collective consciousness.
Yeah.
He's a model of certainty.
Oh, absolutely.
Of what certainty is not.
I'm sorry, I'm having problems with the hearing the video, I mean the audio. Did you ask me a question, hon?
No.
Oh.
And how was the meditation layer? Did you experience the feeling of uncertainty?
I actually felt more certainty.
Yeah.
Especially when you said to feel around the areas of the body and then to have the peace be around the heart. That feels more certain to me than anything else, really.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think most people who meditate will agree. I think that's where you find your certainty.
Yeah. Yeah, and what you say is that certainty is a feeling.
I don't know.
It's got a feeling quality.
Well, for me it does. I don't know if that's right, but I question even that.
Yeah, but questioning isn't feeling, is it? Yeah.
All I know is that I want it with my heart. With all my heart, I want to know.
Yeah.
I think that makes the difference.
Yeah. So there is a kind of knowing which isn't a thinking knowing. It's not a knowing with the mind. It's not a knowing something. It's a kind of knowing which is the knowing of the heart. Like when you know that you feel good, or you know that you love someone, you know that something matters from the heart as a feeling recognition. So there's a sense of knowing which is how we know peace. But it's really in the area of feeling and sensing and not thinking. When you know it, you won't have words to describe it anymore. You fall silent in the head. So was that a question, Bert, that came out of your hard disk?
I just had the idea that my picture could be seen by you. So I tried to make my
video
face visible.
Yeah. Well, you're in a very high spiritual state as a nobody right now, visually.
Yeah. I'm used to that.
Oh. We see you. We don't see you, we feel you.
Okay.
We hear you. How did you find during the meditation the feeling of each other, of being in meditation together? Did it feel like you were meditating alone, or could you feel that the meditation was happening in a group, in togetherness?
I really felt a connection with the peace in all of us, like a unity.
Yeah.
I was amazed.
Yeah.
I was amazed that meditating here in my room, I first made a connection with you, Georgie,
Yeah.
in the feeling of peace
Yeah.
at the end of the guided meditation.
Yeah.
And then I could feel, well, the connection with everybody, but in a unity, not only but bigger than that. Do you understand?
Yeah.
The peace and unity. I was amazed.
Yeah.
It was great. So please, every month, yes, I was really amazed. It felt very good and peaceful. So that's all to tell about it. No more words.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yes.
Yeah. There really is something about the online thing, which, for all of the terrible things about technology, there's something about this online thing when you connect like this, which is so powerful, because space is cancelled out in a way, and it's got its own different parallel time, the internet. And something very existential and unified is just there. It's just here.
Yes. Yeah.